and gentlemen, if you've just stumbled onto my channel, do not turn away. Lean back, relax, take your bottle of lube out, squirt it out onto your joint, and if you don't want to do it solo, welcome your wife to give you the best hand job ever. We've got news for you, we've got rumors, and we have a death in the WWE community. You are watching From Pillar to Post. I am your host, Pete Wall. And how about we get this moving right along? So, first up, we're going to talk about Samoa Joe's Muscle Buster. Now, a lot of fans have been wondering why we haven't seen this move performed on Raw. NXT, we've been seeing it. And it might be a case of, you know, that's similar to AJ Styles when he first broke into WWE. We didn't really see a style clash. Fans want to know why they have not seen it on Raw. The move did put Tyson Kidd on the shelf, so that could be a reason. Maybe Vince McMahon is a little bit worried about it. You know, I've watched Samoa Joe from back in the TNA days, and the Muscle Buster has been his finishing move for years now. I don't think that they will make him stop using it. I think they're going to find a safer way for him to use it. And, you know, as for Vince McMahon not liking the move, like, Vince McMahon's got a lot of issues with any newcomer that he did not create. I think in the end we will see the Muscle Buster come back. I think we just need to give it time, just like we did with AJ Styles. So, you know what? People that are worried about this, go fuck yourself and get fisted. Stumbling across, or I should say stumbling through Twitter today, I came across a picture of the Big Show in his current state in the gym, you know, hanging and banging with all the other power lifters. And I gotta say, this guy looks phenomenal. Hashtag big abs. You know, that's one of them that I've seen him, Big Show, posting on Twitter right now. He's really gearing up for his match against Shaquille O'Neal at WrestleMania 33. And my question is, why didn't we see this from him years ago when he was younger? Like, he's in better shape now than he was when he debuted in WCW. So, what the fuck took you so long? You know, you are winding down, you're ready to retire, and now you are in the best shape of your life. To me, it doesn't make much sense. I like seeing him, he's in shape. I'm a guy that's trying to get in better shape, so I know where he's coming from. But when he was still popular in the wrestling world, why wouldn't he have done this sooner? Why just wait until he's ready to face Shaquille O'Neal to end it off his career? You know, to me, it doesn't make sense. It's great to see him in this kind of shape. I'm happy for him, but I think it could have come a lot sooner. The guy has always been a powerhouse, and he looks twice the powerhouse than he ever has looked in the past. The guy is in phenomenal shape. My hat's off to the guy. I've been a big fan of his for many years. Haven't been much of a fan of his in recent years. He's become slower. He's become generic. He doesn't stand out. He might be a giant, but other than being a giant, he doesn't really stand out in the wrestling world anymore. And moving on, we've got news of Eva Marie leaving the WWE. Now, this might be just a rumor. It's been circulating all over the place. People have noticed that she's removed the WWE hashtag from her bio up on Twitter, I believe it was. You know, rumors of her leaving to pursue TV career, acting career, movies. You know, that's on a lot of the superstars' minds these days. I can't call her a superstar. I haven't seen her wrestle at all. the first match I thought I was going to see of her, she had a wardrobe malfunction and she ran out of the ring, and that was that. So if she can find a career that is suited more to her talents, like porn, you know, that might be an option. I think she'd look fantastic on a bed. Maybe, you know, some snuff films, maybe, you know, someone like choking the fuck out of her, you know, something like that, you know, fuck it. I don't think she'll get any big movie roles. I don't see it in her. Like, her acting is about as good as me here on YouTube right now. Like, I am a very new guy to YouTube, so her chances slim to none, but I wish her all the luck. Goodbye. You know, get off my TV would be just a pleasant way to say goodbye to her. Plans and rumors to end Charlotte's pay-per-view streak. Now, this has been in the talks for a while. I believe what I heard was that they're planning on ending the streak at WrestleMania. And it could be through a fatal four-way or against Bayley in a singles match. Kind of give Bayley a bigger push, maybe, you know, her as champion, knocking out the queen of the women's division, or the queen of pay-per-view, I should say. You know, the way they run the matches on Raw, I'm really hoping they're not going to flip-flop like they did with the Sasha Banks and Charlotte matches. That feud just was done to death. Nobody wants to see that happen again. If they end the streak, it could be done in two ways. One where they technically don't end the streak, and that could be, like the rumors suggest, is a fatal four-way. And she doesn't technically suffer a pinfall at a pay-per-view, but she does lose the match. Now, technically, that would keep her pay-per-view streak intact, and yet still pick up a loss and lose the title to Bayley, Sasha, or Nia Jax. You know, I'd rather see Bayley get a push. From what I've seen from clips of NXT of her, she's a great performer. I think she needs to get rid of the childish look, the fucking ponytail on the side of her head. You know, a more grown-up, more serious Bayley, I think, would go over on the crowd a lot more. Right now, they're kind of aiming her more to children. I think they need to still keep a little bit of that, but, you know, a little bit more mature. It'll do her wonders for her career. You know, and I get tired of seeing the cutesy bullshit on wrestling. It's not what I want to see. Some people might like it. Some people enjoy it. Not me. Vince McMahon is rumored to have a huge surprise come WrestleMania. Now, there's a lot of rumors going around. Everyone's expecting to have Finn Balor back. Excuse me, Finn Balor. You know, and Seth Rollins is supposed to be cleared before the next pay-per-view. You know, or before, I should say, before WrestleMania. Those are two big possibilities that these both will show up. But the rumors lean more towards Hulk Hogan returning to the WWE, and this has gone on for quite a few months now. It was suggested that he was going to have a final match at WrestleMania 32. That was canceled due to that leaked video of him using racial remarks. You know, no one really cares about that. We've seen Vince McMahon forgive a lot worse, and we've seen fans forgive a lot worse. Hulk Hogan, I don't want to see him in the ring again. I don't care if he returns, but if he does, let it be in a role where he's helping the new generation instead of taking the limelight away from him. He's done it too much in the past. It's always been about the Hogan show, and he needs to give back and help these younger guys get over. Help them with their promos a little bit. You know, it's the least he could do. It's the least Vince could have him do. If they put him in a role where he's GM for Raw, I've seen him do this on TNA. He was the general manager or owner, whatever the storyline would be. And it wasn't bad, but it was too much about him, too much about Eric Bischoff. I don't know if I really see him in that role. He would have to be watched carefully to make sure that it wasn't just about him. We've seen this too much on Raw as it is with Stephanie McMahon, Mick Foley. You see them more than you do superstars that should be featured. We don't need to see that again. They need to tame that down. If they bring Hogan in for the GM role, make sure it's just at least once per episode. You know, short bursts is always better when it comes to Hogan or Stephanie McMahon for that matter. Moving on, we've got Bray Wyatt heavily rumored to win the Elimination Chamber. Everyone's expecting it. Everybody wants it. They want to see Orton versus Wyatt come WrestleMania 33. Orton is the winner of the Royal Rumble, so he's got a shot at the world title. And if WWE was smart, if the officials are smart, if the story writers are smart, they will book this match for WrestleMania 33. I could see Orton and Wyatt doing a hell of a lot more together, but the storyline where they implode would attract a lot more fans for WrestleMania. I think it would fill the seats a lot more. And it would be better than seeing another AJ Styles, John Cena match. You know, whatever you have, you know, like AJ Styles, everyone loves this guy. He is the safer bet. But do we want to see another match like that? You know, we want to see what we want to see. And we know that Orton can put on a hell of a show, and we know Wyatt can put on a hell of a show. The storyline going into this would be phenomenal. Would WWE give us, the fans, that opportunity to watch these guys headline WrestleMania, go one-on-one, and I would love to see Bray Wyatt win that match and continue a reign as a world champion for months, even a year, and maybe more. As long as they book him right, as long as the storylines are right, this guy could carry SmackDown into 2018, guaranteed, as one of the best champions ever. Will we see it? That's the question. Now, one thing I heard today, and I loved hearing it because I've watched this guy up in TNA. The guy is, and you know, he claims it as well, and he's proven it. He is the greatest man alive when it comes to wrestling. Austin Aries has been cleared for in-ring competition after suffering an orbital eye fracture. It's suspected that he's going to be helping 205 Live. It's kind of, with the last interview he did with Neville, it kind of looks like they're leaning towards a heel versus heel match with Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight title. I know these guys could put on a hell of a show. Aries with the way he wrestles, Neville with the way he wrestles, both of them can, you know, take to the air. Both of them can take it to the mat. I think it would be a great match. I think it kind of steps out of the boundary of heel versus face. Everyone likes the hero versus the villain. We've seen heel versus heel in the past, and it's gone over well. I just think that Aries would be much better suited on SmackDown. I would rather see him on SmackDown than in the Cruiserweight division. He's proven himself as a Cruiserweight already. He's proven himself in TNA as a world champion. Let him prove himself here in WWE on SmackDown. You know, start him off at the bottom. Well, you can't really start a guy like him off at the bottom, but, you know, I'd like to see him against Miz, Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. Bring him up through the ranks, you know, let him win that title. Work his way up. Let him fight guys like AJ Styles, which he's done many times in the past. These guys are roughly the same size. So, you know, size can't matter when it comes to being a WWE champion anymore. You know, and let him fight guys like Orton, Wyatt, and let him become world champion. See where it takes him. See where it takes the show. I would love to see that. Now, there's also rumors that Vince isn't happy with Samoa Joe's debut, with Rollins being injured during the debut, and then not being too happy with booking Samoa Joe in the main event versus Roman Reigns the following week. And, you know, it's rumored that Vince didn't want Reigns and Joe to meet at Raw because he was worried about Reigns losing before WrestleMania. He doesn't want his man, and I'm going to put that in quotations, the man, to lose a match before WrestleMania. And now we've seen that happen. You know, there's interference, so there's no way that Samoa Joe was going to take a win over Reigns. And everyone knows with Reigns and with Samoa Joe especially, Samoa Joe would kick this guy's fucking ass. We want to see that happen. Vince doesn't want to see it too soon, and I agree, it shouldn't be too soon. It should be on a bigger show. It should be at a pay-per-view, because it is a pay-per-view quality match. I didn't understand why Samoa Joe would have to prove himself against Vince McMahon's top guy before WrestleMania. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. And let's see. Yes. For the final bit of news, it's not going to be a very long video today, but for the final news, we had, and I just found this out this evening, WWE star and Lucha Libre star Chavo Guerrero Sr., aka Chavo Classic, died at the age of 68, and you know, it's a big loss for the wrestling community. I followed the Guerreros for many years. My father followed the Guerreros for many years. I believe it was, he was diagnosed with liver cancer early January. And, you know, I thought his son's words kind of rang true. My father was kind of the same type of guy. So these are the words that Chavo Jr. had to say. Today the world lost a true rebel. He did his things his way, not always the right way, not always the wrong way, but he always followed what he believed in. Chavo Sr. made it huge in Mexico in the beginning of his career. His whole family were huge stars out in Mexico. We didn't get to see Chavo, at least I didn't. My dad probably watched matches of him when I was like a little kid. I don't remember that, but I came into I fell upon his career. I think it was late 90s or early 90s when he came to WWE and was basically Chavo Jr.'s manager or escort to the ring. Didn't really get to see him wrestle much. He did some tag team matches and everything, but you never really seen him in the ring much. He was already too old, and he probably could have still hung with some of the younger wrestlers, but you know, no one wanted to see an old guy get beat up either. So, from a great career, you know, especially in Lucha Libre, you know, he inspired a lot of the Lucha Libres. like his sons, his nephews, probably some of his daughters. You know, guys like Rey Mysterio. He influenced a lot of people's lives in the wrestling world. So it's sad to see another great life expire too soon. But life is life. We move on. We take what inspiration that they gave us, and we try and find our own path, I guess. So rest in peace to Chavo Guerrero Sr. and my best wishes to his family. This was From Pillar to Post, and I plan on bringing you a lot more news and getting a lot more comfortable doing this in the next coming weeks. I want this show to do well. It's only going to help me more when it comes to promoting my book, promoting my merchandise line, promoting Pillar to Post. I am not planning on going anywhere. Like, I've got 5 subs at the most right now. It's not going to deter me. I'll get there eventually. And if you've watched and you were happy with the show, please hit like, please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. And leave a comment, tell me, give me some advice if you think I can do things a little bit better. I know I don't have the news like guys like Joe Cronin, Rusty from the 411, from the 414, JD from New York 206. I don't have that kind of news like they do. I will eventually get to there. And stay tuned, because I've got shows coming up about my son's 68 Dodge Polara. I've got shows coming up about my wine making, my booze making. I've got shows coming up about the customization of the interior of my son's car. And this was my birthday gift to him. He was 15 years old. I bought him a 1968 Dodge Polara. This is his very first car. He is turning 16 in April, and I hope to have the car done before then. And I would love to show you guys the work I've done. We've already done a lot of body work on the exterior. I want to record what I do with the inside, with the interior, because there is so much going on. We've ripped out the old bench seats that were always uncomfortable as hell. We put 4 bucket seats in, and we're planning on running a console from the front dash all the way up to the rear dash. We're putting in great stereo system. We're trying to make this his first car. We're trying to make this a car he's gonna love and want to keep for years to come. It might be a classic, but to me, a car is a car. It's meant to be driven. I don't care if it's winter, summer, if it's raining, snowing. I don't give a shit. It's cars not to just sit in a garage and look pretty. I've got a lot of projects on the go, and I want to inform everyone about my book, and I will be doing a video completely about my book, Dragon's Kin. You can find that on Amazon.com. You can order through me if you'd like, but you will be paying shipping fees for that. It is expensive to ship. Like, I spent almost $70 just shipping one book out to Australia. So it's not cheap. And because that was a contest, I had to cover the shipping. I will not do any shipping fees. You will be paying for that. As well as the shirts behind you. Those are just 2 of the designs I've come up with for my merchandise line. We're going to be doing mugs. We're going to be doing wallets, hats, hoodies. In the next few days, I believe next week, I'll be introducing a new design for the Circle of Steel merchandise. It's going to be a t-shirt again. And then I'm going to move on to doing some coffee mugs. And this one over here, this is a design that's going to be on the very first mugs that come out. It's a great design. I love it. It's got the tribal flames. It's got a clear circle of steel. For the mug, it probably will be a different color than the white lettering. This is my book, Pete Wall, Dragon's Kin. It is book 1 of the Circle of Steel Chronicles. I've got actually up top, you can find me for t-shirts at my email address. You can order through there. Dragon's Kin, you can order on Amazon.com, .ca, wherever the fuck you live. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find it on CreateSpace. You can find me on Twitter at Mordecai Fallon, and on Facebook at Pete G. Wall. You know, it's I told myself when I published this book, October 28th, 2016, that I was making 2017 my bitch. I was stepping out of my shell. I was stepping out of my comfort zone. This is why I'm doing this show. This is why I plan on doing other shows. You know, trying to be more informative, trying to learn a better way to speak, because when it comes to promoting this, I find it very difficult. I can write like a motherfucker. You know, I've been compared to Anne McCaffrey, who also wrote a book with a similar name. It is also Dragon's Kin, which I remembered after I titled, but, you know, there's many names out there the same when it comes to novels. It is a fantasy fiction novel. And when it comes to promoting this book and explaining the book, all I want to say is open up the cover. Read it for yourself. And then you will know. And then you can give me your thoughts. You know, it's been a dream of mine to publish a book. I published this first book independently. I plan on doing book 2 this year. I need to get back to work on it, and it's finding the inspiration where what I lost so long ago, and I need to find that again. That is another reason why I'm doing this show, because I'm trying to do different things to help me get better at doing the things I love to do. So I ask you, continue watching if you're watching. Invite your friends to watch, because I'm only going to get better. I'm at the bottom right now, and there's nowhere else to go but up. So, you know, and I'm not going to try and pretend to be someone I'm not. You know, it's, I used to do radio podcasts, and you notice at the intro, I was a little bit different than I normally am, and that is the way I used to be, and it's just trying to find myself again doing all this. I find it harder when I'm looking into that camera. I find it harder letting you see me the way I used to see myself. It's trying to find my confidence again, and I'll get there. So give me a chance. Continue to watch, like, subscribe, comment. You know, I don't care if it's a good comment, bad comment. You can tell me to go fuck myself. You're watching. That's all that matters. And I'll just keep on doing this, and you keep on doing you. Good night, and see you tomorrow after the Elimination Chamber with my results, my review, and I hope you're like me and will enjoy the show. I really hope they give us what we want to see and not give us a shit show where you're gonna find all these podcasters bitching and complaining about what happened at Elimination Chamber. I want to give you a good review. I want to be a happy fucking man. I want to be a happy fan. So WWE, do not disappoint. Good night. Thank you.